Welcome to Quick and Early Miracles. Today I will be talking about faux real versus faux real. And that is the recognition of what you already are and already have, which makes things a lot easier because you're already there. Here I have a maze that's drawn in a little mouse on the outside, and the maze kind of looks like a brain, doesn't it? We come up with all these ways, all these places, all these things that we can hide our feelings in. I can feel that way if I'm with that person. I'll feel that way if I get that bang. I'll feel that way if. And we create this maze and we hide our feelings from ourselves. You know that this is true because sometimes, let's say you're hiding your feeling from yourself and an unexpected thing occurs. You run into a cute cat, or you get an unexpected phone call, and you forget momentarily that you're not happy, that you're not. Yes, you forget that you're not happy, and you are. And it also occurs when you are in flow type states, and flow doesn't have to be something exotic. It doesn't mean that you're painting, the ceiling with angels. It could be very much like vacuuming. Anytime that you forget yourself, anytime that you forget to think about what isn't now, you're essentially in meditation or flow. So with this mouse and this maze, the brain maze, it's cute to think, good morning. It's cute to think that because you make the maze, that you can make the maze. And you can make the maze a lot simpler by letting the little mouse guy just run over top of the lines that you've drawn to the feeling that you want to have, rather than take them the long way. I did a presentation the other day about how sometimes the past seems like a barrier to how we feel now, and it's not really the past as much as the choices that we made, or the thing that happened, or what we didn't do or couldn't or shouldn't do. And so we hide our feelings there because we think that maybe it could have or should have or will have been different, and so we don't let what is now be good because we think it could or should be different. And what I pointed out with that was mostly it's an illusion, because you don't know. So many of the things that we make ourselves miserable about, we don't know. And that's part of this maze as well. So one of my favorite stories, I can't remember where I came across it first, is about a golden Buddha. And I don't even remember what country it was in, but the monks, and they might not have even been monks. So let's say the statue owners of this big, beautiful gold Buddha were concerned that the approaching looters would take it. And so they're like, I have an idea, let's cover it in mud. And so when the people came to the temple to take the stuff, they didn't take it because they're like, oh, it's just like this mud heap. And underneath was a solid gold Buddha. And that, my friends, is what you're working with. Inside, you're already that. There's just some mud on top. And what is the mud? Well, there are these ideas about how you're not perfect already. Because ultimately what you want to do is allow yourself to feel good, right? It's not that you want to be skinny. It's not that you want to be rich. It's that you want to feel good, and you think you would if you were skinny, or you think you would if you were rich. Imagine this. So let's say that you were self-conscious about your body, and so you went to a splash park and you really didn't have that much fun because you were concerned that people were thinking that there was something wrong with the way that you were. Well, what if instead of being concerned about that, what if you forgot? How would you behave then? And that's essentially this idea of forgetting the self, where you forget that there are these barriers, these rules, these things that could be or should be for you to be in that state of joy. Here I have joy, and it's got these little wet blankets over it, and that's essentially what is. It's, you have this natural default set point, like where you would go if you didn't know better, that just gets a little clouded. And I'm not really sure how to talk about the physiology here, but it does seem like your body will learn to keep you at that state, and maybe it learns, or it just doesn't have a chance to let up. But it does take a little time to let your set point rise again, which means that you just kind of have to keep reminding yourself that there's nothing that you need to be or do yet differently than where you are to feel how you want to feel. It's okay to practice, and it takes a little time, and the mud will slough off, and you'll be back where you were, back to what's natural to you, this golden Buddha state. And you know, I've said this a bunch in these broadcasts. I'm not coming at this from like, oh, I don't know pain, I don't know suffering, I don't get it. When I first started my journey on Instagram in 2017, I really I've been through my shit, but I hadn't really looked at it. And so had I really been through it? No, not really, because I was putting it on everything else. And I kind of went through this experience over the last however many years that is, and got to see walk in. I forgot what was natural and easy. And all of that is to say that I'm not coming at this without the awareness of how hard or hurtful or heavy life can be. I'm not coming at this thinking oh, but what about if you don't have everything you want, or you're not healthy, or you're broke, or this happened or that happened. I feel you. I feel you. And what I'm saying is the rules, you want to feel the way that you want to feel, which is essentially relief and free. It's just this practice of feeling it now, which sounds so crazy because it's so simple. And yet that's all that it takes. And when you line up with that awareness of your golden Buddha self, when you're that, then everything else that you're trying to do becomes easier and really fucking obvious. And oh yeah, then you're not running uphill or into the wind. Things are moving with you. So that concludes my presentation for today. Do we have any questions, thoughts, feelings, comments from the crowd? So what I was talking about today was faux real versus faux real. And faux real is these are all my problems, this is the way that it is. That's the mud on the Buddha. Faux real is you're already good, babe. Just let yourself climb over the maze to get the feeling that you want now. Practice it now. If I didn't know that I shouldn't be happy, if I didn't know that this was wrong. And sometimes it just takes a little tweak of perspective, because you can look at the world outside of you and say well, obviously, Shay, this isn't what I want. This isn't right. I'm alone. I have no money. My foot is broke, etc. But what if you knew? What if someone told you that that set of circumstances was essential to the next set, which you really want? And so it's almost like you're waiting at a train station and you're but there's no train here. This is stupid. It's no, the train's coming. So do you want to have a good time while you're on the platform, or you want to essentially that's it, where and it's not that your waiting is essential so much as the feeling that you're not waiting that allows the trains to move. And that's more when I'm talking about that stuff, it seems to me you can approach it from several different angles. And there's the Abraham Hicks angle, where it's talking about vibrational alignments. You essentially want to match emotionally the train that you want to get on. And I found that to be true, or at least not false. I've also found to be true, or at least not false, that perceptually what you identify with is what you'll see, and what you see is what you respond to and what you live out. And so if you're perceiving, or you're choosing to perceive from a place of victimhood or pain or warriorness, then you will see a world that allows for you to continue that story. If on the other hand you tell a story that doesn't need you to be that, doesn't need you to suffer to be special, doesn't need you to earn it to be worthy, that lets you be as you are, then you'll see that as well. And I'm sure there are other ways to slice and dice that relationship, where when you let yourself feel good, things move. But those are the two that I found to be they seem to do some stuff. Does anybody have anything else? Anything? Anybody? So the moral of today's story is you're a golden Buddha, and where you feel heavy or things are hard, it's just mud. It's not who you are. It's not what's going to be forever. It's just this forgetting that joy is your natural state. And joy doesn't necessarily mean you've got some ideas around it. And honestly, I wouldn't have believed it except that I felt it. It's kind of like sunshine. It's just sunshine. It's not, there's an effortlessness to it where it is like a flow state where almost if you're an athlete and you're playing on court and like you love the sport and you're confident in your ability to do it, it's like that. You're in it and you're doing it and it works and it's fun. Even though there are a lot of moving pieces, even though there are things coming at you or they're getting around or going towards, it's that forgetting to be afraid of life, essentially. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out. If you have any questions, topic requests, etc. I always get the number wrong on these, so I'm not sure what today's number is. Maybe it's 18 or 19. I'm planning to do 25 of them. If you have any questions about how to apply some of this stuff in areas of your life that aren't moving as well, holler. You can go to my website, habitbook.com, and sign up for an info call, and it is a free 15-ish minute thing where we just talk. You say like this what I'm working with, and I'll say like, cool, okay, let me ask some questions, and then I'll tell you sincerely what I see as possible. It is not a sales call, it is an info call, and I love to do them, so please don't hesitate even if you're just in your info gathering stages. And all of these presentations are not posted. The ones that are on IGTV, and some of those are on youtube.com/The Shaylee Show. I also have a really adorable Oracle deck for sale. Oh, here they are. And these are a tool for you to tap into an awareness that might be eluding your conscious mind. So the conscious mind is like, don't see anything that's going to make us change. Don't do blah. And when you pull in information like what somebody from the outside can help you do, then things will click and you can break through and go new places. So that was my intention in designing these. You can get these on my website as well. And I'm also selling art at habitbook.com/art, and that helps me fund my work. Thanks so much for coming.